And our next speaker is Laure. She's Research Project Director at SAP, and she's also the president of the Quantum Industry Consortium, the QuiC. And she will tell us about this consortium. And Laure, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me correctly, no?
We can hear you. If you could go in full screen mode. Control L, I think it was.
Yeah, I did it. Okay, you have to press twice. Okay, bonjour, good morning, everyone. Yeah. So you have a scoop, by the way. This is our new logo, and you're the first one to see it. I mean, beside some of our members. So I'm working at SAP as a research project director, but also president of QuiC since the inception earlier this year. So today I will give you a broad overview of what it is about, and eventually I will try to leave more space for the question. So it's really about industry, and that's European Quantum Industry Consortium. So it covers all technologies, all quantum technologies. It covers Europe in the broad sense, so EU countries, UK, Switzerland, candidate and associated countries as well. So it's a non-for-profit association. This, to give you some history, it's actually it's an ID from the Quantum Community Network, which is part of the quantum technology flagship activities. So the idea to be more on the long term and have the industry really sitting together, doing this community exchanging to build this community, have this ecosystem, and to be at some point the voice of Europe. So our mission is really to boost this industry competitiveness. So of course, to go from research to innovation, as I said, in all pillars, and you know, to make sure SMEs, large industry, investors, also researchers and academia, they could be members, by the way. You know, they build this ecosystem, and again, as I said, the idea is to be the voice. So a little of history. So we are founded officially in February this year by 14 members, and you can see some Swiss in this list. So IDQ and Zurich Instrument. The work started the year before. As I said, all this community was building up, defining what it should be, etc. But as an association, we legally started in February, and we had the first General Assembly in April. Plenty of new members at that time, including CSDM, so now it's going on. We have a governing board, we have an executive director and executive team. So the executive director is Thierry Botter. In terms, just to give you a quick overview, so it's mainly industry. We have close to 2/3 or SMEs and startup. Large industry, it's a good portion, and as you can see, research and academia, there are plenty of those. And we do have association as well. It could be interesting because they have their own ecosystem, so it's a good way to exchange as well. In terms of countries, so that's the situation as of Friday. So as you can see, you have a good portion of German, French. You have a lot of Swiss companies as well. And plenty of other countries, and UK and non-EU countries are also represented. So it's, I mean, it's a photo as of today. Of course, it may evolve in the future. So, as I said earlier, one of the idea is to build this, to exchange together, and to not to speak one voice, but at least to be together, to be more influential on the EU level with the Commission, etc. Also on national, in region and national countries. So of course we would like to define this strategy industry roadmap on all quantum technologies. We would like to look at policies, at so standards, IP, it's type of things we will discuss. And of course, there could be some partnering. It could be a kind of an incubator for a future project as part of EU project or other project. It doesn't really matter here. Just a quick overview of, so we work by working groups. You find here again what I mentioned before. So briefly, so the working group on market trends and use cases. So discuss on different use cases, and we in each of this working group there are subgroups by this technology, those pillars, so quantum computing simulation, quantum communication, sensing metrology, enabling technologies. The idea is really to glue also what happens and to sync between the different working group. So from a technology point of view or from I mean, overall point of view. So strategic industry roadmap, I mentioned it before, there is a working group for that. Industry state of the art, actually we start with that. Quantum technology ecosystem. So, and then we have some, I don't want to call it smaller, but parallel, let's say, working group. So intellectual property, standards. We don't define IP or we don't define standards, but we are here to, on one side, gather together and try to define what are the needs of the industry in terms of standardization, and dialogue with whoever is the standardization bodies, so Sensenelec, ISO, etc. So we have links already, and vice versa, trying to know, I mean, what's happening, what is currently defined, and making sure our members are aware of this or informed and have access to that. Similarly for IP, by the way. In terms of education, here, so here the idea is, of course, what are the needs in terms of skills for the industry, and there is a strong interaction with I mean, universities, academia, etc. One working group is about SMEs and funding, so it's here bringing them together, informing about what exists in terms of funding, including VCs, and making sure they have access to that, making sure also they can go beyond their little market and access the European market, if not beyond. Then we have, so the QuIC solution is brand new, so I will mention it later, but something called national chapter. This is also just starting. So the idea here is for each country to make sure we have a good representative of each of those countries, a good interaction with government, with whoever, I mean, agency that are working, and same way informing the members about what's happening, what is available, and also speaking one voice and turning to those agency and government bodies to express the industry voice and industry needs. So here this is more or less what I mentioned. So you will have the details later on. And so that's we are, as I said, we are just starting, but that's really important. I think that the industry on the Europe side really sit together and define this roadmap. Something I forgot to mention, that we do have interaction with other I mean, similar organization like QEDC in USA, QuIC in Canada, QStar in Japan. So it's of course just starting, but that's something we want to convey, making sure we have this interaction and eventually at least exchange. It's not, we are not always in competition. There are also a base for exchange. So that's also something we are working right now. So you're all invited. So whoever is not a member yet is invited to join us. It's you can visit. So we will have soon our own website. For now, it's a web page on the Quantum Technology flagship website. You can find already press release, more information, more details of the functioning, the working groups, etc. And of course, the application documents. Should you have any question, please write us. And again, we will soon have our website with this one new logo, so and you will find more information. Thank you.
Thanks, Laure. With that, we have a lot of time for questions. So again, I invite the attendees to ask the questions in the question and answer at the bottom of your Zoom app. I will ask the first question, Laure. This comes from Theo Tsenis. Regarding VP9 and funding, could private financiers participate in funding and how?
You mean private VC, venture capitalist, investor, etc.?
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
Of course. I mean, there are companies like ours, who will say, and we will like really to involve them, and we do have already some as founders. Quantum Nation is one example in France, and there are many. I mean, I forgot the full list, but we have several VCs who are or investors who are already members, and we invite them any new features. So yes, it's possible.
Everything goes through the website, Laure, or?
What do you mean?
The registration and the how this financier could come to QuiC and try to participate.
So yes, you have some information on the website, and you can write an email to this quic@qt.eu, and we will answer to it and provide you the appropriate information if you don't find it on the website.
Okay, thanks. So we jump to the next question regarding education. So education and skills. How can we make a joint European jump into quantum engineering curriculum?
Good question. I'm not in this working group. That's the idea. It's really this, and we just started. This working group will look at this and really have inside the working group. You have those companies. You have also academia researchers as lead of the working group. It's also a mix of those. So that's I mean, participating in the working group. This is the chance to bring this to discuss on those future needs. But again, we just started, so we have nothing to produce today, but that's what we would like to achieve in the future.
Okay, regarding producing content or guidelines, when do you see your outcome? So the outcome of the QuiC, so the different working groups.
Guidelines may be a big words, but I mean, this strategic industry roadmap, we are working on it. So we will produce something. I mean, it could come by piece, but this will come soon. I mean, before the end of the year, we will produce something, and then of course for each of those working group will produce. It could be white paper, it could be presentation, etc. But yeah, that's coming progressively. Again, we just start, so that's
sure. Also a question from the audience: can European employee or companies headquartered in the US join the QuiC?
By default, no. The parent company has to be European, so European in the broad sense, as I said earlier. But of course, I mean, we may discuss and look at it. But I mean, the status said that the parent company has to be based in Europe.
Okay, thanks, Laure. And we have a question from Sensenelec. It already started before QuiC, but can we strengthen the IP competence in Europe, and how?
The IP, sorry?
How can we strengthen the IP competence in Europe?
That will be the target of this working group too, on intellectual property. That's exactly the type of discussion.
So you're muted, I think, Laure. Laure, we can't hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Can you check on your side if your microphone is still working?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
So we still can't hear you, Laure.
Can you hear me now?
Can you check, Nicolas, if there is something in the regie? I think we have an issue with your microphone, Laure. It was working well, but suddenly it cuts down.
Yeah, I didn't change anything. Do you hear me?
So it looks like we here cannot hear you, but I see in the back office that people, the attendee can, I guess, hear you.
Okay.
Perhaps you can go on with your answer, but we are the only one not hearing you. So
Okay,
perhaps go on.
Yeah, sorry for that. I mean, I didn't change anything on my side, so I hope. Yes, the working group 2 on the IP is working on this, and this is exactly the type of discussion they will have and define what will be the needs.
So you, Laure, but I think you're finished with your answer. I think we have a small issue with the microphone on my side, but I will ask a last question, even if I don't listen to the answer. It's from Jan Blumart. What is VP7 QuIC solutions? Merci.
Okay, so that's the idea is really to offer space for members to connect and eventually to draw business connections. So that's we just proposed this recently, so we'll expand it soon. So consider it as a resource hub, as a way for those QuIC members to build up a business connection. So beyond the QuIC.
So thank you very much, Laure. I think with that we can again thank you for your talk and also for being the president of the Quantum Industry Consortium. I invite all the attendee which are in the company or which would be willing to join the QuIC, go on the website and try to register. It's the way to go.